The town of Springfield, Ohio, was thrust into the national spotlight after false accusations quickly spread of Haitian immigrants there stealing and eating pets. The claims were repeated by former President Donald Trump and Senator J.D. Vance. And since then, many Haitian residents say they have been concerned for their safety. The issue is likely to come up when Vance and Walz take the debate stage tonight. CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins us now from Springfield. Camilo, tell us how these rumors got started and why Senator Vance continues to promote these false claims.
Hi, Lindsay. It appears that these false allegations about this small city in Ohio first emerged online in right-wing groups and by right-wing figures, and they were, of course, giving a lot of oxygen by Senator J.D. Vance and other Republican lawmakers. Of course, former President Donald Trump talked about this claim during his presidential debate with Vice President Harris, and it is very important to note that despite not just local authorities disproving and debunking these claims, officials here in Ohio, including Republican politicians, have also said that these allegations are not true, including the governor of the state, Governor DeWine, who is a Republican and who's also supporting J.D. Vance and former President Donald Trump for the presidential ticket in 2024. And despite all that, J.D. Vance has yet to correct the record. He has in many ways doubled down on these claims, saying that constituents of his are calling his office to report some of these claims. But again, there has been no corroboration. And I'm sure we're going to get to this, Lindsay. There are legitimate policy discussions to have about the migration pressures that towns like Springfield are having in the past few years. But of course, these claims are not just misleading, inaccurate, and false, but they can be dangerous because we did see threats against buildings, including schools here in Springfield, in the wake of those allegations.
Can you please fact check for us who these migrants are, how they're able to be there? I mean, I know that we've heard from the governor. He's been talking to local businesses who have said they've brought some of these businesses back after the pandemic.
Well, this is another inaccurate claim that J.D. Vance has made about the Haitian immigrants in this community. He has called them illegal aliens, Lindsay, despite the fact that they entered the U.S. lawfully and are here in the country legally. They have been able to come to the U.S. legally under two Biden administration programs. One of them allows people who have American sponsors to fly into the country legally and to work here lawfully. And another allows people in Mexico who are waiting for an appointment to enter the U.S. to be processed legally at an official border crossing and then to work in the country lawfully. And most Haitians here are also eligible for something known as temporary protected status, and that is a legal immigration relief program for nationals of countries that are right now undergoing an emergency, a natural disaster, a war, or some other crisis. And of course, we know that Haiti is still in deep political turmoil, and that is the reason that the Biden administration has created this TPS program for Haiti. So these immigrants here are working lawfully, and they are in the country lawfully.
Camilo Montoya-Galvez, appreciate your reporting. Thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay.